This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. I am welcoming you to a very, very exciting event. I am welcoming you to the next installation of the FIGHR ambassadors. We have a great lead-in to what we are going to be doing from now on, and most of what you're going to see today is going to be a celebration of a new leader that has come forward in our midst. One of the greatest things that we can do as a people is celebrate and elevate those that have done the work and are in the due diligence of support and the suffrage of solutions. And today we're going to be doing that by announcing a new ambassador that will be elated and celebrated today in the midst of the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights. So I thank you all for coming. I thank you for those that are in attendance. And I welcome high commissioners, ambassadors, diplomats, dignitaries, those honored guests, friends, and family members of the honoree. Welcome to the 2023 FIGHR Federation Ambassador Inauguration for today. We are going to be installing, as I said, a new celebrant in the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights, who has earned her place in the mission delegation of Trinidad and Tobago. I am Dr. Amina Ali, and I am the founder of the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights. Along with the other ambassadors that you'll meet today, we are going to be honoring and putting forth the next leg of our diplomacy in delegation toward Trinidad and the CARICOM. If you will, can the ambassador from Zambia and the African Union please open us up in prayer? Ambassador Bwala. Is he not here? Okay. So I will ask Ambassador Dodar, if you would, could you unmute your mic? He is the ambassador, the mission ambassador to Lebanon, Syria, and Afghanistan. And I am going to ask if you could to open us up in a small prayer, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It is a great pleasure to welcome a new ambassador on board. You are welcome, dear ambassador, to our family of FIGHR, the Federation of Gender and Human Rights. It's our pleasure also to meet with you and to collaborate and brainstorm and discuss and know everything about what ideas, what thoughts you will bring to the table. And we are keen also to learn from your experience and to share advices and also to have a progress and to take FIGHR to higher level of communication and spread and services over all new areas and new countries, and to reach more vulnerable populations and communities where we can provide our services there and provide the support for communities and for those affected by gender and gender-based violence and those who are suffering from violation of human rights over there. As I said, we are keen to learn from your experience and to know more about the area you will be covering. And you are most welcome. All of us, we form one family, one team, and all of us are sharing everything with you and with the other colleagues, other ambassadors, other mission ambassadors who are on board, and some of them who are not online now, or maybe joining us soon later. Welcome again and wish you a successful mission over all the period. Thank you and over.
Thank you. I wanted, can you give us a quick prayer, please?
I ask Almighty Allah to bring peace to all of us, to all of the world, to every individual over all the world, and also to stop war and to stop violence in all its forms, and to bring fair treatment for every person over all this world. We are dealing with the humanity and humanitarian principles, and we would like to see every person over this world, over the world, will be enjoying peace and enjoying all basic and other human rights they are entitled to. We don't discriminate. We don't deal with politics. We deal only with the humanitarian issues. And we ask Almighty Allah to support us and to be with us and to protect every person and every one of this FIGHR family in order to fulfill our objectives and also to spread the peace and stop violence. We should have zero violence over all the world, especially against girls and women and against the children. And we are keen also to convey our messages of peace and human rights to every individual. Thank you. Amin.
Amin, amin, Allahu amin. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Next, we are going to use our opening remarks, as we just had from Ambassador Dodar, as our opening mission. And he did speak quite a bit on what it is that we are going to be doing as a federation. We don't do the politics of what we are dealing with in society. We deal with the humanitarian effort and the greatness of what it is that we have in front of us. And we are electing to bring on a new ambassador that will shine a great talent, a new light, and also solutions for the injustices and the violations of gender and human rights. So we thank you all for coming again. A bit of history of the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights. We are a great organization to join. I say that with full bias, and I say that with great, with great intention to welcome each of you to share in what it is that we do. As you are looking at this event today, you can share a great knowledge base in what we do by joining our site. Our site is just our initials, FIGHR.org. And if you look at our site, you'll see that we are a social impact organization that is designed and defined to be a sovereign entity of solutions to the betterment of gender and human rights violations around the world. We work with those that are healing and rising out of female genital mutilation, child bride, survival sex, human and sexual trafficking, those that are coming out of refugee or asylum seeking status, those that are landless, stateless, and otherwise reaching the goal of immigrants from other areas. And we do this work because this work needs to be done, period. There's no agenda. There is no governmental backing, and there definitely is not a political affiliation that we have. We are doing this because every one of us that is in this organization has had or still has someone that is dealing with a violation that deals with gender and human rights, whether it's a personal story, whether it is a family member, or whether it is a delegation that they are a part of that is dealing with this. And we do this with in a twofold sense. One, to show by example the real-time work that is needed in society, and then to teach by example the repeatable solutions that are available to each and every country that is out there without political or governmental affiliation. We have been doing this since 2015. We have had a great success through COVID because this is where our work really meant quite a bit, because so many of those that are abused were now shut in with their abuser. So many of the students that were violated at home now had to stay in that home situation because they didn't have the sanctity of going to school because of the virus. So we allowed ourselves to be of great discipline and great ordination to be able to offer solutions in real time, in their language, in the culture that they are a part of. So we're very, very proud of what it is that we do and how we work this mission. We are equally proud of what it is that we give as far as sustainable and repeatable solutions to our violations that we have in front of us. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I thank you immensely for being a part of this inauguration. And I hope that this will be a great lead in to your welcome of volunteer or stewardship to our organization. Speaking of stewardship, We are going to be speaking next on the ambassadorship. What does this mean? So many times we hear this title and we hear this reference, whether it be through social media, whether it be through a political or governmental entity. But to be an ambassador simply means you are a tried and true, integral representative of what you do. So if you hear UN ambassador to peace, or you hear African Union ambassador to gender and human rights, you are hearing that they are setting their sights, their livelihood, and their mission work on attaining that goal, which is the eradication of that violation. And this means that this is what our newest ambassador will be doing. She will be taking us by the hand and teaching us many ways to be of great service to those around us and to be of great formidable aid to those in need of help. She will do it with the backing of her delegation as head by Ambassador Dr. Andrew Ramjohn and the other delegates that are in the mission statement. And she will be doing this with her own talents, gifts, and abilities. This is the role of ambassador, and this is what we are called as ambassadors in each of the things that we do. And I want to thank Ambassador Dr. Ramjohn for electing such a fine participant to both Trinidad and Tobago and to the FIGHR delegation for the CARICOM. So thank you so very much, Ambassador Ramjohn. Speaking of Ambassador Ramjohn, we have the great and distinct pleasure of having him as our mission ambassador. And he will give a few words to the cause, to the credence, and to the legacy that he holds. He is a retired ambassador in his own right. He is a phenomenal financier and one that has been vetted in both forensic and real-time accounting. He has been a great advocate for those that are standing in this, the call of gender and human rights. And we are very proud to have him as our own mission ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago and the CARICOM. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Mission Ambassador Dr. Andrew Ramjohn. Please unmute your mic. The floor is yours.
Hello, and thank you so much, Dr. Amina Ali. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak about myself, because to be honest with you, and again, because of time, you have said so much already, and this is not about me this morning. It's really about our newest addition. So if it is all right, I would like to really say to my esteemed colleagues and our honored guests that I am delighted to introduce and welcome you, our new ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Madame Ambassador Alana Kling. As an international human rights and gender equality ambassador with FIGHR, I have had the pleasure of working with Ambassador Kling externally for some time now. And I can say without hesitation that she is a valuable asset to our team. To be honest with you, I have never forgotten the day we met and how we met. And actually, Dr. Ali, you may remember, you're the one who pointed her out to me. She had made contact with you and you suggested that myself being the ambassador here in Trinidad, I should give her a call. And then that's how it all began. I called her, and since then we've been back and forth speaking to each other. She's an honest person, to the point, empathic, and understands the issues that need to be addressed. I already call her Ambassador Kling. She is an educated and accomplished writer with a wealth of knowledge and experience in global issues. Her dedication and commitment to promoting human rights and gender equality are unwavering. And I am confident that she will bring these values to her new role as an ambassador. I had no reservations whatsoever recommending her to you, Your Excellency, Dr. Amina Ali, for this posting, as I saw in her some of my own ambitions. I consider her to be a trusted assistant to me, Ambassador Kling has demonstrated her ability to work collaboratively with colleagues and stakeholders. Her professionalism and commitment to achieving positive outcomes made her an ideal candidate for this esteemed and important position. I am extremely pleased that Madam Ambassador Alana Kling is now in an official capacity to further assist me, not only personally, but our entire FIGHR team. And I have no doubt that she will excel in her new role. And I ask that you join me, please. All join me, please, in welcoming her to our esteemed organization of the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights, and wishing her all the best in her many endeavors as an ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Yes, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I felt that. So thank you so very much. I would like to say a few things. One, it's not going to be long at all, but I do think that it's necessary for me to point out that when I have someone that is coming aboard our mission and being here with us, it does me a great due diligence to bring on a woman. And I say this fully biased, again, in what it is that we are promoting. The gender and human rights piece that we are opening is designed to make sure that the voice of the woman is at the table. This is intentional, this is deliberate, and it is done integrally, because we really want to understand that the power of what we are putting out there is seen and heard through both genders equally. Now, I use, because so many of those in the Federation hear me use the word bias. Oh, that's bias, that's bias, that's bias. I use it jokingly today, but it is very intentional that we see these voices. It is very intentional that they're brought to the table. And it is my duty as a woman, as a leader, as someone that has brought forth the energy in building this table, that we see it in real time. It's very easy in certain corporations to say we've hired 10 new women, but we never see them. Or you say that we are hiring women in the C-suites of our corporations, but you never hear from them. And this bothers me deeply. So one of the things that I really pressure my interns for is full visual and audible representation of each of the ambassadors, especially the women ambassadors. Men have their face when we put them on our events, but women must speak from the pulpit of their mission. And this is very, very important to me. And I think it goes without saying that one of the greater pieces of our C-suite, it is all female. I'm very proud to say that. And it is very intentional to say that, because we want to see the change that we wish to see in the world in real time. And I use this as our platform, not to be unbiased to men, as I want to believe that the men of the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights wants to believe that I give equal and autonomous voices to the men. I want to make sure that the women feel that same power. And that power, P-O-W-H-E-R, is the power that allows her to be able to be seen and heard in the same cadence. So to the men that are here today, thank you so very much for joining us to celebrate another powerful figure that is going to be coming across the stage today. And I thank you again for your time with us. We have a few dignitaries that have come here. We heard from Ambassador Dodar, but we have Dr. Karen Lomax, who is a part of the C-suite of FIGHR. She is our advisory council lead. She has been here since day one, and she has taken charge in quite a bit. She's under the weather today, so if we would, I am going to force her hand a little bit to speak, even if it's not on camera, to say a few words to the delegation as well as to our newest ambassador. So Ambassador Lomax, if you could, for like 60 seconds. Can you come off mic and speak to the delegation here as well as our new ambassador, please?
Well, good morning, and greetings. And yes, thank you very much. Thank you for all the blessings and the prayers. And I just want to speak to the piece you were just talking about with the women. We are so grateful that we actually have a platform. Let me correct, that we actually have a global platform where women are heard, and not just heard, but seen with intention. And so we thank you for this platform. And I also want to thank the men who are part of this delegation as well, that don't have a problem with sitting down next to, with, under, and everything with women and working with women. And to our newest delegate, we welcome you. We know that it was by no accident. This was intentional. There's no coincidences. It was intentional. And you are with one of the greatest, because Ambassador Ramjohn is no joke. He is a serious leading figure in the world when it comes to human rights. And we've seen his heart, and we've seen how he cares for women, especially human rights for women. We've seen that. And so you are exactly where you need to be at this time and this place in time. And we're going to do our best to continue to undergird you and him, as well as all of the rest. But for some reason, this one is special. I don't know what it is, but this one is special. And there's something that's special that's going to come from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm getting a little prophetic, but there's going to be something special that comes from Trinidad and Tobago for women, especially for women. And as much as we don't like to do it this way, sometimes it has to be done that way. It's going to be special because there's a man who is on a platform defending the rights of women. And it's just the way it is in the world, where the man's voice is the one that's most taken, for what it is. And the man's voice is the one that's most listened to. So that's why God has him there, because he's a man that's opening doors for the women. And then he steps aside and let the women do what the women have been called to do. And he doesn't have a problem with it. So we thank him for that. We thank you, Dr. Amina Ali, for this, and welcome aboard to our new ambassador.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Lomax. Thank you. Yes, he is an amazing dude. Yes, I saw that in the comments. Yes. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so to make this official, Ambassador Alana, I'd ask that everyone mute your mic except Ambassador Alana. We are going to read her pledge. This is, I know for religious reasons, Dr. Lomax actually told me years ago, don't use the word swearing in, because most religions don't use that term. It is offensive toward God. So we're going to say her affirmation pledge. And this is an affirmation that is going to be so that she will be cited in the eyes of the Federation, as well as you being witness to this in real time, and then be able to get to the next level of her pledge, which is the action. She's been doing it thus far, so now today we're just making it official. So I'm going to present the Federation Pledge of Acceptance of Oath and Premise. And Madame Alana will have to recite it in cadence. That's a military term. That means I say it and then she repeats it. And we are in the witness of all those, both family and friends and diplomatic ambassadors alike. We are in quorum for the Federation to be able to bear witness to this. And we are going to admit her after her repetition. I'm going to give it to you up front so everyone sees what she's saying. Again, so many people are, I don't want to say something that I'm not agreeing to, and I don't want to have it as something that I'm not sure that I want to say. So what I will do is I will give it to you here. I will say it first, then Madame Alana, you will repeat it again in cadence. And this will be so that you will be affirmed in real time as to what it is that we will be doing together as a delegation. So without further ado, Madam Alana, can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your full name.
I, Alana Kling,
Do promise to uphold
do promise to uphold
the honor,
the honor,
dignity, and responsibility
dignity, and the responsibility
of being a FIGHR ambassador.
of being a FIGHR ambassador.
I do this with the knowledge
I do this with the knowledge
that this position is given to me
in
honesty, with trust, and in the dignity of my diplomatic abilities.
and in the dignity of my diplomatic abilities.
I will use my skills
I will use my skills
to fulfill this position and make a difference in the land I represent
in the land I represent
and in the international community that I serve.
and in the international community that I serve.
I accept this
I accept this
with my whole mind and with the full integrity that this position holds.
and with the full integrity that this position holds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Diplomatic Ambassador Alana Kling, Ambassador to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations, Madam Ambassador.
Thank you.
You are so
Thank
worthy.
you.
And these are your credentials that are being shared with your family and friends right now, and they will be sent to you via via email. And this will be something that you will truly hold on to for years and years to come. I thank you so very much for this active.
Thank you, Dr. Ali.
And I thank you again. Please, I want you to, matter of fact, Bernard, could you go back? Yes. Please, I need you to say a few words, a few moments of thank you, and I will highlight you today. Thank you so very much. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. I have a little thank you note here and a bit of a bio for all of the honorable guests that we have here, for my FIGHR co-helpers and co-workers at this point in time, so that they will know who I am and where I'm from and who I'm from, and we can be comfortable. Yes?
Yes.
So if you will allow me 2 minutes, I'd like to share my story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for all formality, greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. I have a lot of friends, a few friends I see already here from different parts of the world. Maria Vraca, I see you, Uncle Ronald. There are only a few pictures coming up. Trisha Rampasad, I see you, welcome. And thank you all for representing here for me today, for standing with me and being part of my great moment. To all members of FIGHR, members of the UN, diplomats and other specially invited and honorable guests who took the time to be here in honor of my induction as a new ambassador, I thank you. Sincerely, I thank you. Special thanks to Dr. Amina Ali and His Excellency Dr. Ramjan for considering me a fair-minded and worthy thinker and writer for the cause of gender and human rights. Thank you both. It's an honor to be here receiving this prestigious seat around your table of brave and honorable diplomats who champion the cause of human rights. As much as the world has progressed with technology, science, and education, basic human rights still hangs in the balance to be acknowledged, addressed, and rectified. Our purpose, our role, and our value as guardians of humanity cannot be underestimated, as millions of people globally wait in hope for change in their circumstances, deliverance from their suffering, and even an end to centuries long of oppression. So our work is cut out for us, as there is no relenting of the challenges that impede progress in human rights and the ability of human beings to live freely and safely. Please allow me to firstly give thanks to our Father Almighty, the Creator, the giver and taker of all things, for all that He has allowed to be cast solid in me through hard experiences, through strife, defeat, fragile health, loss, persecution, sabotage, blame, unfair treatment, all of the things that also gave me blessings like stillness, awareness, compassion, integrity, honesty with myself, and authenticity with others. I discovered a different dimension of faith in God and love for what is His, which only came when my life was threatened with illness in recent years. I am humbled and blessed to be able to speak and to write for humanity, just like many of you here today who bring God's voice and His vibration in places where turmoil and hardship cause unnecessary human suffering. But let me wait. Dr. Ali and others discovered me writing on LinkedIn. That's where we met. And I always wrote about topics concerning humanity, about the greater good, and about honest and fair treatment towards people, and how we arrange our habits in society. I also discovered many of you here today, which I'm ever thankful and grateful for, as I cannot have a better network of educated thinkers who are committed to improving the human condition. I'm absolutely overjoyed, overwhelmed, happy, and blessed to be part of the network that I am part of. I'm happy to be part of FIGHR. I'm happy to be part of good people, people who add to greatness in this world and who give others hope. Something I've always hoped to be able to do, as I'm a university student of sociology. I always hope to be able to help in a capacity of human rights. And here we are today. Many people have asked me over the years, what makes me take the perspectives that I take when I write, and why I care so deeply about the greater good concerning humanity. Let me share my story with you today. And guests, Dr. Ali, my colleagues, sometimes I used to be ashamed and embarrassed of things that I experienced, but no more, because I realized that it was the hand of God always working through me to bring me to a position to fulfill my purpose. And I'm happy to share my truth with everyone here today. And everyone is a distinguished guest here today. Friends, family, and well-wishers, members of FIGHR. Firstly, I consider that I come from good people, and that's my bedrock. I come from good people, and I say that biasly. My mother and father are two of the most resilient people I know, raising 5 wonderful children together, one of whom has become a diplomatic ambassador today. You did well for us, and I want to thank my mother for teaching me the ways of decency and commitment. and my father and friend for teaching me
Hello, this is Lucy.
that I must always be able to look straight into the eyes of all people and not have reason to drop my eyes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dr. Ali? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I don't know. My phone went on mute. I don't know what happened. I had someone else that I put on mute, and now you're okay.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
So sorry.
Yes. Can
Yes.
I continue?
Absolutely, and I'm so sorry. I have no idea what this is going wrong, but delays are not denial. So please continue.
Where was I? You did well for us, and I want to thank my mother for teaching me the ways of decency and commitment, and my father and friend for teaching me that I must always be able to look straight into the eyes of all people and not have reason to drop my eyes. I thank my mother and father for doing their personal best for their 5 children. May God bless you both with peace, ease, and happiness for the rest of your life here and beyond. Also instrumental in my upbringing were lessons of love, righteousness, discipline, fairness, and charity that came from my grandparents on both sides. Deep-hearted aunts and uncles who taught me life lessons through the way they lived and through the decisions they made in their personal lives. Today, I miss them terribly, but I celebrate the legacy of honor they have all left, so much so that their children and grandchildren live by the same rules that I do. And we are a vibrant kinship of hardworking and God-fearing people living in the world today who show up for each other in times of need. Because of this, I am very proud of the family and kinship I come from. So I say thank you to my Kalu, Garib, Jafar, and Mohan relatives who are here today. May God continue to bless us and our children and their children to carry light in this world and give honor to the lessons of our forefathers. But let me tell you, the best upbringing cannot save you when the waves of life come along and you have to make yourself a man or a woman in your own right to leave your own legacy. Experiences and hardships shape us, whether we manifest it ourselves, whether we like it or hate it. It chisels us and brings us closer to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. In saying this, I will tell you my story. In 2007, I met with a vehicular accident being a passenger and sustained head trauma that was initially misdiagnosed. Since then, I suffered unrelenting neurological strife in the form of diabolic pain from frontal lobe epilepsy, together with epilepsy's long line of offspring symptoms, none of which are easy. I consider myself fortunate that my seizures are absence seizures. So I do not collapse or, yes, Dr. Ali, I do not collapse or convulse, and I count my blessings. I thank God for small and great mercies alike. Now let me show you how the Almighty and He takes our suffering and turns it into pure gold. I survived all these years with my pain and debilitating neurological conditions silently. But it was not until 2021, after a spate of insurmountable stress, owing largely to unfairness and brazen impunity in my professional life, that left me with very private hurt and despair. My body crashed one day after my birthday. I had made it to 1 year, but another year was not promised. I went into a state of dying slowly from ceaseless seizure activity that started taking over a large part of my brain. My fight with this was as much a spiritual one as it was a physical one. And I saw after every EEG, portions of my brain going under, together with memories, skills, and precious cognition. Christian by birth, and so accustomed to reading my rosary when I pray, I had forgotten the words to the most well-known biblical prayer, the Our Father prayer. I remember holding my rosary at the beginning of my illness, and I started Our Father who art in heaven, and I could not remember the other line. At this time, I realized my life depended on silence. Sorry, doctor. Sorry,
That's all right.
doctor.
Take your time. Take your time.
Complete silence. Complete silence. And so I became quiet in mind, body, and spirit. This was a hard experience. When I was in that place, I could feel no other being but my own self. And I remember asking, Father, where are you? And then I asked, is there a God? But I never stopped praying because it's all I know to do in distress. During this time, I met with people like you, Dr. Ali, who spoke with a different fire and something in me began to trust again. And Dr. Ali, I just want to personally thank you and tell you that I love you so much for bringing trust back into my heart. You did so in our private talks with each other, where we became like sisters. Then I met life coach and Zen master, Rashad Ahmed. It was only after my first session with Rashad on a free invitation where he showed this group of extraordinary people from around the world a breathing technique a Zen breathing technique, where I realized I felt alone and as the only one, and as only one being, I'm sorry, because I had indeed become one with the divine through my slow walk dying. That slow walk ended that day, and as I discovered God Almighty not outside of me, but inside me and as me, that slow walk with death ended. Here I pause to give a heartfelt thanks and all of my gratitude to Zen Master Rashad Ahmed and the amazing group of strangers from around the world who make up a kinship, a family of great healing and vibrational love and energy. Thank you, my family. They are another group of good people I belong to. Uncle Ronald, I see you. Maria, I see you. I cannot see anybody else because my screen is limited. But thank you all for being here, and I love you all. And thank you for holding out the light for me. Maria, I see you. I see you, my darling. Apart from my illness, that's a great reason for me to serve humanity. I went through a learning experience in my professional life where I witnessed a complete collapse of integrity, justice, and honesty in a system which was supposed to be safe for people. The very things that ought to make up the fabric of a dignified system were so fashionably mocked. I have witnessed white-collar criminality and suffered solely because of my integrity in that situation and my choice to not fight in dirty games. I took the high road, the hardest one, where we must remain stiff and soundless with every lash. I know that negligence in power and abuse of power looks like. I know how dishonest people link together to form unions of wickedness, corruption, and never-ending cycles of disruption to fairness. I know the value of a just human being who is not afraid to lend their voice to what is right and make decisive judgment calls or take a stance for people who are unfairly persecuted and who stand no chance against a majority mob. I have seen how selfish people brazenly lie to protect their interest and hide their wrongdoing. They scurry around to build Pulitzer Prize narratives around big white elephants. So good that nobody believes the truth. That's where we come in. And that's why I'm here today, ready to serve in my capacity as an ambassador for gender and human rights. Oppression, nepotism, discrimination, impunity, and the many things that add to unnecessary human strife and suffering. It ends with me, and it ends with every other human rights ambassador. We are good people doing good things in this world. Dr. Ali, you once said that we must be willing to stand in the gap as educated and influential voices for those who have no voice, who have been silenced by policies and ideologies, and whose backs are weighed in from oppression. Well, I am happy to be one of those people who will be standing in the gap while we pull up our brothers and sisters from around the world so that they can have hope in a life that is supposed to be beautiful for all, not just some, for all. I am proud to serve my country, Trinidad and Tobago, and my beautiful region, the Caribbean community. I'm so proud of us. In closing, I wish to acknowledge with great gratitude the most decent man I know, my oldest friend and my husband, Mickey Charles Kling. To our beautiful daughter, Eden Marie Kling, God's ever vibrant garden. At 9 years old, right now you are old enough to understand this, baby. Today, your mother has lit a torch, and one day it will be yours to carry in whichever way you wish to serve mankind. My beloved child, I love you. Thank you to my doctor, Diana Andreeva, for keeping me alive and getting me here safely. I love you. Thank you to Mr. Quintus Pereira of Colombo, Sri Lanka, a most loyal and dedicated senior friend of mine. And I just want to tell him thank you for all of his prayers in my time when I was down and out in illness. Finally, I cannot end without giving my humblest thanks to Captain Hamdi Ahmad of the Egyptian Police Service in Cairo. A dedicated, disciplined, and pious human being, you saw my struggle and understood my need for development, and you dedicated your time, resources, and efforts unselfishly towards my professional development. And I am ever grateful to you for all that you have done. May God bless you and all who wish me well and have been kind and supportive. This success is as much yours as it is mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Your story has touched me in ways that I didn't even, I'm sitting here just like, wow, I'm looking at my interns and they're just like eyes big as saucers. We didn't know this, but we love this. And it just further cements and confirms what it is we already knew, that you are in the right place at the right time. So thank you for
Amen.
celebrating
Thank you.
and thank you for allowing us to celebrate you today. I am going to close this now. We have Ambassador Ramjon is going to give us a few nuggets, and then we're going to close this out. I do have another event. I have a graduation to speak at 11:15. So I am going to turn this over to Ambassador Ramjon, and we're going to close this out with the dignity and diplomacy that is deserved. So Ambassador Ramjon, about 2 minutes, please, and then we will close out this session.
I promise less than 2 minutes, Dr. Ali, and thank you so much. I'd just like to say again, welcome, Madam Ambassador Alana Kling, to our team. As a defender of human rights, you have a unique opportunity to create positive change in the world. Remember that human rights are not just abstract concepts, but are fundamental to the dignity and well-being of every individual. You are joining a team of passionate individuals who share your commitment to upholding these principles and making a difference. As you embark on this new role, it is essential to listen to the voices of those who have been marginalized or opposed. Be their advocate and amplify their voices. Remember that change often starts at the grassroots level, and your role is to support and empower those who are fighting for their rights. Finally, always strive to act with integrity. I have no problems with this, and I know you don't, but I must say it. And hold yourself accountable to the highest ethical standards. Human rights work can be challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. Together, we can make a difference and create a more just and equitable world for all. Welcome again aboard the team of FIGHR ambassadors, and let's go to work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. And let's go to work. Okay. Our closing remarks are going to be from the understanding of what it is that we are called to do in our rights. My grandmother used to give us a great saying. She said, listen with both of your ears and all of your mind. And I didn't understand until I was in my 40s what that meant. And I still don't quite understand because I'm still learning. So in saying that, I pray that the wisdom that we give to you today will allow you to embark upon what it is that you are called to do. Allow your purpose and your mission to meet the everyday needs of those that are called to your care. Your integrity is accountable. Your transparency is your responsibility, and your due diligence is to take care of you while we take care of the world. So I thank you so very much for being here today, being a part of us, and being the next effort in the givings of what it is that we are called to do as humanitarians and as ambassadors. Father God, we close this out today, understanding that you are the reason why we are here. We exist because you allowed us to survive each and everything you have called us to. We are people of long suffering, and our suffering is in the due diligence of pleasing you. And today I pray that we have made the mark in pleasing you by welcoming Madam Ambassador Kling to this ordination. We ask that you uplift her, we hold her, you keep her healthy, heal her, and strengthen her from within, and allow the due diligence of what she has been called to do to be her exacting mark on this life. We pray that Ambassador Dr. Ramjan will be her guiding light and her lead, and his legacy will be led to shed the democracy that we are called and been called to be. And I pray that each and every person that has come on today be guided and divine with the audacity and the tenacity to be her strength, her advocacy, and her support throughout her tenure. And I ask that you bless each and every one of us to be a handhold and a solution for gender and human rights. I thank you on today. Amin, amin, Allahu amin, amen, aho, ashe, and so it is, Selah. I thank you all for being here with us. And as a consummate foodie, now the feast. I need some ackee and saltfish. I need some callaloo. Come on, just keep bringing it and just keep coming until I say stop, because that is the best way to pay me for today.
You've learned the menu. You've learned the menu.
I thank you so very much for all that attended, all that are here. This recording will be edited, and it will be sent to you directly so that you will have a copy of it for your records. You will also have a copy of the affirmations that you were given. And I will send all of that in an email with all of your documents, your paperwork, and your credentials that will be there to you today. So thank you so very much, Madam Kling. Thank you, Dr. Ramjan, and thank you for all the ambassadors, dignitary, and honored guests that have come today. I bid you fair adieu, and thank you again for a job well done. Be well, everyone.